Hi friends, it's getting to that time of year when we really want some nice soups to keep us warm in these cold evenings, and I've got a few different ideas that I wanted to show you today. A couple of them are soups that are more meals in themselves, and another couple are more soups that you can have with a sandwich or a grilled cheese or some salad, something to keep you going maybe for lunch or a light supper. So why don't you join me for the next few minutes and I'll show you a few of our favourite soups. This first soup is one that I invented with my mum one Christmas a couple of years ago, and it is so delicious it's become one of our favourites. Basically it's a whole lot of root vegetables with some sausages that I cook separately, and then I cut them up and add them at the end. So I start off, as with a lot of soup recipes, by chopping some onions and frying them to soften them. Then I'm going to add some leeks and soften those along with the onions. Then in go the carrots, some swede and some parsnip. It's really important to soften these vegetables well before you add any of the stock, because that helps to bring out their flavour. So all of these vegetables are just cut up into about 1 centimetre pieces, because I'm going to be blending part of the soup and leaving part of it chunky so that it's got a bit of texture. So that's the way I like to do it, and I think it makes a really tasty, hearty soup. Now that the vegetables are softened, I've got some broth here that I made yesterday, and I'm just going to slightly cover the vegetables, not completely, they just want to be covered so we have a nice thick soup. So this is what it looks like. The vegetables are just covered with the stock. I'm going to let it simmer until the vegetables are nice and tender for about 30 minutes. And I'm just going to salt with plenty of salt and pepper. While the vegetables are cooking, I'm going to start frying the sausages. And we want these to be cooked before we add them to the soup. Now the sausages are cooked through, so I'm going to cut them in half and then slice them into chunks. The next soup is one of my favourites. It's a coconut chicken soup. Well, I'm making it with turkey today, but it doesn't matter, either way is good. I'm starting off this soup by frying some leeks. I've got a couple of leeks in here. I want to let them soften nicely before I add anything else. The other vegetables that I'm going to use in this soup are courgettes, broccoli and some spinach. So I'm just going to cut up the courgettes and the broccoli into bite-sized pieces. In goes the broccoli. thought I had a lot more coconut milk than I actually have, and all I can find is coconut cream. So I'm adding 1 can of coconut cream. I would have rather added a litre of coconut milk, but we'll see how this works out. I think it should be fine with plenty of stock in there. In goes the stock. And again, we just want to cover the vegetables. We don't want to put too much in there. I'm going to let this come to the boil, and then about 5 minutes before the end, I'm going to add the turkey and the spinach. I think I'm going to let this boil for about 15 minutes before I add anything else. If you were to use raw meat to make this, then you would add the meat with the coconut milk. You don't need to fry it first. It's actually really good if you just cook it in the coconut milk and then add the stock afterwards. And I have a full recipe for this over on the blog if you're interested. I almost forgot the flavouring, so I'm adding fish sauce in here. And I will taste and adjust the seasoning with a bit of salt later on. I almost forgot, I need to add a little bit of honey in here, well, a good tablespoon of honey in here as well. That sweetness really makes a difference in this soup. The last 2 soups that I'm going to be making are really simple, just vegetable soups. So I'm making a courgette soup, which is just courgette that I'm going to cut up, fry very slightly with a little bit of garlic, and then add some stock and let that cook down. And the other is my version of tomato soup, which is extremely simple and very delicious. So I hope you give it a go. Tomato soup recipe is very easy. All you need are 3 cans of tomatoes, a good teaspoon or so of salt, about a tablespoon of sugar, and about 500 millilitres of stock. Bring that to the boil and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes. I'm also going to add half a clove of garlic. Finish off this first soup. I'm going to take out about 4 spoons of vegetable chunks. So I'm just using a slotted spoon for this. And then I'm going to use a hand blender to blend up the rest. I'm going to add the vegetables back in. Along with the sausage. I'm going to make sure this is nicely warmed through and then it's ready to serve. Now to finish off the chicken and coconut, or the turkey and coconut soup, I'm going to add my cooked turkey. So if you were using raw turkey, it would already be in there, or raw chicken, it would already be in there. And a couple of handfuls of baby spinach. Give that a stir and give the meat time to warm all the way through, and it will be ready to serve. I like to serve this on top of rice and sprinkled with some fresh herbs and a squeeze of lime. As you can see, these soups are really not difficult to make at all, and they are healthy, wholesome, nutritious, and a great way to feed your family during this cold season. I would love to hear what some of your favourite soup recipes are, so why don't you leave me your ideas in the comments below. If you'd like some more inspiration for autumn meals for your family, I'm going to leave a video on the end screen for you that I think you'll really enjoy. Thanks for joining me today, friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.